Hey, good morning, everybody. I just wanted to apologize for the technical difficulties with Be Live. There's really nothing I can do. But anyways, you got to stay positive. I hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. My name is Jade Alberts, and we are live from Calgary, Alberta. I'm a workplace strategist focusing on business and brand development. My passion is helping small businesses grow and enjoy a work-life balance. The Telling It Like It Is topic today is location, and David Gray is my guest from Colliers. He will be on the phone. He's based out of the Bay Area, Silicon Valley. David, thank you for joining me, and how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for being patient. Who knows if it's Be Live or if it's the Silicon Valley having too many video connections.
There's just too much tech where you live, I guess. That's the problem, right?
Right, tech overload.
Yeah, that must be it. Well, again, I really do appreciate it. I know you and I met in Houston in October, and I love talking about the power of networking, and we've kept in touch ever since. And what inspires me about you is your willingness to share your knowledge, and you have such a plethora of knowledge that it's priceless. So I really do appreciate how our friendship is growing.
Awesome.
Oh, that's great. So I'll give a little introduction here for David before we get going. David Gray is an SVP with Colliers. He's been assisting companies in scaling their corporate real estate for 32 years. 95% of these companies are headquartered in the Silicon Valley, and his eyes have located and negotiated over 450 plus leases, sales, and transactions during his 10 different economies, 5 up and 5 downturns. So this upturn has lasted 8 years, and that's a good thing. So what can you tell us about the upturn then, David?
Well, what's exciting about this last upturn, well, I guess we're still in it, and most economists say we've got at least 24 to 30 months, is that there's technology is playing a vital role. And, we had our Be Live glitch today, but in general, I think everyone who will listen to this now or later is on a Zoom, Be Live, a go-to meeting a couple times a week. Yesterday, I was on a meeting with 20 people, and this gets to the bricks and mortar aspect of it. I was looking around at all the video feeds as the green halo moves to whoever's speaking. Much different technology than 5 years ago, right? And exciting to note that a lot of people were just hanging out at the study at home. One person was in London, a handful in California, a couple Canadians in Montreal, and it was exhilarating because we were talking about workplace and what's the future of work and what we're going to see around the corner. So when you hit me up with this topic and said, I want to talk about the necessity of bricks and mortar for a small business or an emerging growth company, I said, fantastic. I'm all over it. I hope I have some good things to share.
Well, I'm sure you will. I mean, you've been in the heart of it since, again, for 32 years. So I guess, going right into it, why should they have a physical location, and what are the benefits of having a physical location?
15, 25 years ago, the physical location was important to have that shingle out in front and add to the brand, build your identity, the stuff so much more than any of us about. And now today, we can do so much of that with the internet and the right marketing approach that gets social media. And with that, you can delay the inevitable expense of the hard wall environment of picking up 5, 10, 50 people and having them say, well, that's it. We're going to be based in Calgary. We're Vancouver. We're Portland. We're Silicon Valley. That begs the other question. Why do you need a particular space? Where would you go? Do you go to Austin? Do you go to Boston? There has to be an organic component, and we're bringing something to market. This is where our labor is. We want our labor together on a regular basis. And by the way, we see our initial customers, in this sub-market. Let's gather there. But again, that gets delayed, I think, by choice when we see how well we can work independently, remotely together.
Oh no, definitely. I mean, it's and those are absolutely great comments, David. I guess when someone is starting up or looking for a new location, or expanding for that matter, because they are growing, what type of design should they have? When should they expand? When should they move? What's the right timeline?
I think that the number one thing I heard, and I'm going to quote some people, even it comes back to bite me. Tom Worth said a few months ago, he's the number one facilities operation guy at Facebook. I asked Tom that question, and he said, the most important point to me in our business envelope, and I'm ready to hear some, technical stuff on facilities and, the Internet of Things and working it into your building. He said the most important thing is that each person comes through the front door, whichever one of their 400 front doors it is, and says, I'm excited to be here. Like they're actually smiling, feeling great, don't need any tea or coffee. Where's my team? I know they're 3 rungs up, 2 doors down, and they're all stepping into that room, and I'm going to go right there now. So technology helps you get there, but coming in fired up is a series of things. Besides culture, which is unique to every gang, it's the ability to get to a place comfortably. So what we're seeing more and more, and I shared this at a conference 2 weeks ago in San Francisco, Work Rebooted, is we're seeing companies make their first move, second, third move based on where their key employees are located. That's not unusual, but to get the highest percentage of those people, whether there's 5 of them or 50 of them together in a central location, public transportation probably has to be involved if you're in an area with hustle and bustle. And so that may apply to most companies, but certainly not all. Certainly in the Silicon Valley and in all the NFL cities, it's going to be important to have an ability to get to your workplace so you feel fired up when you come in the front door. And how the end of this monologue, how the suburban companies do it in North San Jose, or in the outskirts of Menlo Park that don't have rail access, and you have to come in on your car, is they're either setting up point-to-point bus runs. That's a large company, so you can put that example in italics. Or, get this, they're setting up a valet service right there at the office building. So you can walk up and drop your keys at the front and scoot in. Now, that sounds like a crazy amenity, but it's really important at some companies where you want where you're underparked and you want people not searching for cars but coming in the office fired up. So I think the number one thing I've heard echoed by others is, how do I get my people excited about coming into the office?
Oh, no, that's a very valid point. I mean, I'm talking to a client here in Calgary, and they are moving towards an office space that's close to the C-Train line, which is our public transit here, just to make it easier for employees to get to work. And that is, one of the key things, obviously, to keeping some of the employees around and keeping the great employees. I guess my last question to you, David, would be, can you share an example of maybe a personal or someone that within Colliers that has taken a very small business and grown from a little office space and moved into a bigger one and another one? I love my employees hearing these great success stories.
Yeah, that's a great question. I can think of several. Let's see which one's the most prudent. Yeah, it would be Portal, and it would be back in the 90s. Portal was started by Jim Lugwood, and Lugwood was a sharp Princeton grad who had a great idea for getting email going, and he stayed in his home as long as possible. And they had servers, hardware, electricity bill through the roof into a small home that's, less than 150 meters, 1,600 square feet. It was just overloaded with all these appendages and a 20 or so people gathering at the height during the day. And he came to me and said, how do we get out of this? But I'm not really excited about moving and paying a lot of money for real estate. And then he figured out that some of their economies of scale would be greatly solved by just getting into a 3,500 square foot office. So Portal made that move, and it was a multi-tenant environment, which gave them the capability to then take 2,000, 4,000, 5,000 square feet, take it as the business enterprise demanded it. So I would say that was a wise move, hanging into the home front as long as possible, and then getting into the Stevens Creek office center, which had several restaurants you could walk to. And
nice.
Rarely did people get out of their cars during the day. And just fast forwarding the story, a couple more moves later, Jim and John, the two founders, are, one's on the cover of Fortune magazine, and the net worth when the stocks were crazy was $1 billion, and they were just coming from the back of the napkin with an idea, and they didn't gamble real estate wise. They just took the space as they needed it. I think that was the real lesson. Take it as the business dictates. I 100% agree. That is a great statement. Take the space as you need it. There's no sense overpaying, and I mean, money is hard to come by, and you can't spend it like it grows on trees. So that's a very valid lesson that I think a lot of people can learn from this talk today. Well, that's excellent, David. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, and it's funny that the biggest technological breakdown we've had comes from my guest in Silicon Valley. Well, apologies. But thank you so much. Great to talk with you.
All right, David. Thank you very much. And again, it's Jade Alberts. I'm from Calgary, Alberta. I'm a workplace strategist, and I love helping small businesses succeed and grow. Until next Wednesday, everybody have a great week. Take care.